Hi, folks. My name is Rachel, and I wanted to go ahead and welcome you to our Admitted Spartan Days 2021 Kickoff Welcome Event. Welcome, everybody. We're so excited to see you here, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I wanted to personally congratulate all of you newly admitted Spartans. We have a wonderful 2 weeks made especially for you to get your questions answered about our campus and to let you see how SJSU can be your next home on your academic journey. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, my name is Rachel Miranda, and I'm the Welcome Center Operations Specialist and an admissions counselor here at SJSU. I absolutely love this campus. My mom graduated from here and is a successful teacher in the Bay Area. And I'm currently in a master's program on campus. And I'm excited to be your host for today and a couple of other events for your ASD next 2 weeks. What today is going to look like is we're going to hear an awesome video message from our President Papazian. We're going to hear a welcome and some words of wisdom from our amazing leadership panel. We're going to have a live Q&A. We're going to wrap it up with an awesome School of Music and Dance Marching Band performance. Now, let's go ahead and hear from our president.
Hello and welcome, and congratulations on becoming a newly admitted Spartan. We are delighted to have you here with us today. I'm so pleased that you are with other members of our campus community for this very important event, even virtually. I wish I could be with you live, but I wanted to be sure to offer this video message to welcome and congratulate you. I truly hope you'll take advantage of everything this event has to offer. I know the organizers have put together a very robust program that will tell you all about the things you need to know about San Jose State and all that we have to offer. I can tell you that there is a reason, many reasons actually, why we were ranked by Money Magazine as the most transformative university in the nation. And I hope we have a chance to demonstrate that to you. Even though we are still doing things in a digital environment, things are definitely looking optimistic in regards to a return to campus. And our fall semester, we hope to offer much more in-person instruction than these past 2 semesters. And more facilities and services should become available as the vaccine rollout continues and county public health guidance is adjusted. So thank you again for being here for Admitted Spartan Days. You and your families undoubtedly will have a lot of questions, and our staff and faculty will be here throughout the 2-week event for precisely that reason, to answer your questions, support you as a new member of our community, and help you to make the best decision possible about your academic journey. So it truly is a great time to be a new Spartan, and we sure hope you'll join us this fall. Have a great time, and I look forward to meeting you soon around the San Jose State campus.
Woohoo! So I hope y'all enjoyed that. President Papazian has done a great job keeping the campus updated with new information during this time. I really appreciate how transparent she is with our community. It makes me feel a lot more comfortable. But moving on, we're going to go ahead and introduce the wonderful guest we have today. We're first going to start off with our Vice President of Student Affairs, Patrick Day. He's now going to share some words of excitement and welcome all of you. So woohoo!
Well, thank you, Rachel. Listen, I am so thrilled to be here this morning and glad that you're here. Let me just say, we don't take your presence for granted. We don't think that just because we have this, everybody's going to be here or come to our university. We're incredibly proud of what we do, but the best thing, and you'll hear me say this more than once, the very best thing about San Jose State University is our students. And so thank you for being a part of today, and thank you really for beginning your journey as a Spartan. And I want you to really think about that, because we think about that, what it means to be a Spartan. You're going to have an opportunity through this experience, as well as from now until the time that you come to the university and enroll and take classes, to really be engaged by faculty, staff, other students. You'll hear from some folks today who, if you think about it, are going to be continuously talking to you about what it means to be a Spartan. We believe that being a Spartan is about being a leader. It's about moving forward in this life in courageous ways, We believe that it is very much about serving the community. We believe it is about academic achievement. And we believe ultimately it is about being successful in the ways that you want to be successful. That's why we are such a large institution. That's why we are such an academically diverse institution. That's why we are such a demographically diverse institution. We're a place where we want any student who comes to this place to be able to find their pathway. So we welcome you, and we're so happy that you're with us today. And I want to also say a special thank you to our parents and families. We recognize that your student can't be successful without you. So thank you for being a part of this journey. And let me say to you quite explicitly, we want you to continue being a part of the journey with your student, even as your student matriculates. I spend time talking to parents and families through our family advisory board, and they have actually been an incredible part of the journey as we have gone through this last year, providing advice, providing feedback on how we were doing. And so we invite you to continue to be a part of the journey as your student comes and enrolls at San Jose State. Listen, lots of us are having this moment where we're asking, how did we get here? We have that same moment at the university. This is not what I think anybody expected. If you would have talked to any of us 2 years ago, we would not have thought that this last year would have looked like it has looked. It has been extraordinarily challenging, tragic for some, victorious for others. This has been a year that we are all, I think, still trying to figure out. But with that said, what I will tell you is that our university has been successful. The brightest spot of our university has been the way our students have navigated the pandemic and been able to continue to be successful. They've continued to interact and talk to those of us who are administrators about the ways in which we can help them have the best possible experience. Our students have been successful when they have lived on campus. They have been careful. They have been mindful. They have been healthy and safe. And I just cannot say enough about them. And I'm saying that not just to tout how wonderful they are. What I'm really saying to you is we have had the experience of moving through this pandemic, and albeit difficult, but we have been able to be successful as we have moved through it. And I'm happy to report that we've had a campus that has been healthy and has been safe. And even just as you were watching television, you're seeing that rules and regulations and things that are coming out from the county and from the state are changing as we go along. We are moving along with those changes and bringing our students along with us. So whether you are a student that is planning on living at home, whether you're planning on living on campus, whether you're planning on living near campus, what we believe is that we're going to have an experience that will allow you to be successful. It may not be what you thought it was going to be, probably is not that way for all of us, but it will be the fall of 21 will be different than the fall of 20. We anticipate so much more happening on our campus, while at the same time making sure that we are safe, making sure that we are mindful and have guidelines in place so that people can continue to be healthy, so that we can continue to move forward. Let me say to you students, and then I want to give it back to Rachel. I want you to think about not just this moment, not just right now. And I know sometimes this can be very difficult. I want you to think about the long game. I want you to think about what your life looks like in 3 years, in 4 years, what your life looks like when you're about to graduate. And I want you to ask the question, not just about, wow, is it going to be strange? And am I going to be virtual? And what's that about? And should I go? And all of these kinds of questions right now. I want you to think about, what is it that you want to say in 4 years? What is it that you want to say when it's time for you to start your career after you graduate? What are those things that you want to be in a position to say about your college experience? What you participated in, how you achieved, the things that you made sure that you got involved with, the internships that you took advantage of, the relationships that you were able to develop. I want you to be thinking about all of those things, because right now they may seem a little bit strange, a little bit different, not exactly what you thought about. But what I can tell you for sure is that in 4 years or 5 years, or for some of you, even 2 or 3 years, you want to be able to say that you took full advantage. You want to be able to say you did everything you could. You want to be able to say that I was fully invested in my experience at San Jose State University. Because if you are able to say that, I can assure you, you will have a satisfaction, a peace, and a sense of accomplishment when you are out in the world making the contribution that you, along with the incredible legacy of San Jose State alumni, continue to make. So I just want you to think about that and reflect on that so that even as we go into these sort of unknown and predictable times, you still do that with a vision for the future, a vision for your future, the things that you're going to achieve and the things that you are going to prepare yourself, even in the midst of this, to be able to do. Again, I welcome you. We're so glad that you're with us. We know we're going to have an opportunity for some questions, and I'm looking forward to responding to some of those questions, but I want to give it back to Rachel and let her keep moving us forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Patrick. I don't know about the rest of y'all here with us. I got chills. I felt like Patrick is in a room one-on-one talking with me. So thank you so much for that. I'm so pumped. I'm glad everybody's here. I really enjoy this time of year because we get to interact with future Spartans such as yourself. And I love watching Patrick talk to y'all and get you excited to become a Spartan. So next up, to continue this awesome energy, we have our Mountain West champion, Coach Brent Brennan. Coach, thank you so much for being here. And he's going to go ahead and spread some more excitement with y'all.
All right. How's everybody doing? It's great to see you. Thank you for being here today. Future Spartans, what an incredible, incredible time in your life this is. Patrick was just talking about it. I think back to my college years. I had a lot less gray hair than I have in this picture that you all are seeing on the screen back then. But those college years are the best years of your life. There's absolute magic in every day there where you are growing and learning and developing every single day. You're meeting new people. You're figuring out the man or woman you want to be and which way you want to move forward with your life. And I want to talk to you about the incredible value that San Jose State University is. I think that gets lost on people sometimes. When you think about the whole package and what this experience is, obviously for me, starting with Division I athletics, I think that can be an incredible part of your journey, right? College football, college basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, track, tennis, whatever your flavor is, there's the opportunity to be engaged in that and to come together as an institution in the fall or winter or spring and enjoy incredible games. But on top of that, you have incredible weather, right? Like what's the temperature today? It's probably about 70 degrees and sunny. Well, that's kind of what it is pretty much every day. And so you have this incredible weather. You have this amazing proximity to all these cool things, right? You got the mountains a few hours away. You've got the beach a half hour away. You can get to all these different things while also enjoying this incredibly vibrant city like San Jose that continues to grow and improve and change in ways that are incredible, right? You have Google coming into San Jose, Adobe's building a new facility, Zoom's downtown. There's just so much exciting stuff happening in San Jose. And, you know, to kind of jump on the back of that, I also want to talk about what are you thinking about post-grad? Obviously, these are conversations that I have every day with our current players, with recruits and their families. But what are you thinking about post-grad? I mean, can you get started in a better post-grad market than Silicon Valley, right? And education at San Jose State gives you the opportunity to plug right into the most progressive, unique job market in the entire world. You can't forget about our incredible E-teams on campus. They seem to be winning national championships every year. And I know that's a big part of your generation is kind of the video game world. And that's something that's big here. And then we also, on top of that, we have incredible sports teams close by right here in Santa Clara and San Jose. We have the San Francisco 49ers. We have the San Jose Sharks. Not too far away, we have the Giants, San Francisco Giants and the A's. And we can't forget about the Golden State Warriors. And the reason I bring all these things to light is because understanding the value of what this is and what this experience is at San Jose State and what it can be for you. And I think as you're trying to figure out, is this the right place for me? You have to take into consideration all the factors that are going to impact your process on a day-to-day basis. Like I was saying at the start of this, it is the most incredible, most magical time in your life. And the things that you will experience, the people that you will experience, what Patrick was talking about the diversity of our campus, the uniqueness of our campus, those things coming together to make it the most incredible, transforming experience of your life is what you're looking at. And that's what's so exciting about coming to San Jose State right now is that you have this opportunity to join this incredible community that is on the absolute threshold of exploding into the world and everybody seeing what our awesome institution has to offer. And when you come on campus, you will see, a new $200 million, science, math, STEM engineering building being built. You see the new student union, the new student rec. You'll see the incredible investment the university has made in our student population, and how Dr. Papazian and people like Patrick Day continue to move us forward, continue to accelerate into the future for what we want our institution to be. And so I'm excited to share this journey with you. Obviously, I'm hopeful that you'll join us on Saturdays in the fall, coming to games in the stands, having that great college football experience that I think can enrich your lives. But really, more than that, I'm hoping that you come to San Jose State University so that you can enjoy and experience all these incredible things our awesome school has to offer, because it is the right fit for everyone when you take into consideration all it has to offer. So Spartan up, thank you for your time. Can't wait to answer some questions later and see you in the fall. I'm going to throw it back to Rachel.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that speech, Coach. I'm so hyped. Coach, can I join the team? I feel like after hearing that, I'm ready to help you win another Mountain West championship. Yeah? All right, everybody. I'm going to get all my gear ready to go. Speaking of ready to go, we are going to go ahead and invite our Associated Students President, Zobeda Delgadillo, to share some wisdom as a current student. So Zobeda, where are you at? Here we go. You have the floor.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to San Jose State. My name is Zobeda Delgadillo. I currently serve as Associated Students President and Chief Executive Officer. I started my journey at San Jose State in fall of 2017. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today and welcome you to the Spartan community. If you're anything like I was when I started, you are sitting there with a million different emotions and asking yourself a million different questions. Did I make the right choice? Is this worth the sacrifices, or how do I proceed? Or perhaps you are sure that this is a place for you. Regardless, I can assure you that you are here today because you deserve to be, and because you bring something transformative and innovative to this diverse community. Throughout the 20th century, Associated Students has become the center of student life, involvement, leadership, advocacy, and solidarity. The organization's strength emerged from being vocal about social issues, meeting the changing needs of students, and adaptability in offering essential services and programs that enhance the academic, professional, and social experience of higher education. Every day, I continue to learn from my professors and my peers, and I feel supported by an amazing group of mentors and colleagues. When milestones are accomplished at San Jose State, there's always someone around to celebrate and acknowledge your accomplishments. No matter the situation, there always will be an endless number of individuals on campus willing to spend as many hours as you need, listening to you practice, providing you with feedback, and when life throws you some curveballs, you'll always have a community to offer you support, guidance, and clarity. Something that I've learned throughout my college career is being comfortable with the uncomfortable. We all come from different walks of life, so sharing your experiences and learning from others will give you new perspectives and enrich your life. Capitalize on your determination. Don't spend too much time focusing on any of your weaknesses. The next couple of years will go by really fast, so cherish them. You continue to grow and learn every day, and the person you are today will not be the same when you graduate. You now join a campus that's been home to Olympic winners, entrepreneurs, and people who have been trailblazers in society. Challenge yourself, absorb everything, and above all, enjoy the journey. Thank you for having me here today, and I wish you the best college experience. And once again, welcome to San Jose State and Spartan Up. I'll turn it over to Rachel.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Zobeda. And she's right. You are here because you belong to be here. You have worked so hard to get that admission from San Jose State University, especially during a really difficult time. So from all of us, from the panel, thank you for your hard work. We are here to welcome you with open arms. And thank you so much for that, Zobeda. I'm hyped up after all three speeches. I hope our future Spartans are too, or I know they are. Let's go ahead and start with our Q&A. So let me get all my panelists back here with me. We can go ahead and unmute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll go ahead and jump right into some questions that we have that we thought our future Spartans might like to hear. So this first question is, there are so many exciting things happening with our campus, pivoting with the current events. From your perspective, can you tell students why they should choose SJSU? So whoever wants to take this one first, we'll have all our panelists answer.
Sure, I will start off. There are so many reasons. I mean, here's what I would say is, even in the midst of the pivoting and the things that are happening, we haven't sort of shifted from who we were before. And that's a really good thing. I think Coach talked about our new building coming online, and that's representative of a commitment, academic commitment that we have been making for quite a while. So I think I'd reflect a couple of things. One, we anticipate, I saw some of the questions in the chat, we are anticipating that we will have significantly more students on the campus in the fall. We are returning. It will not be the 100% that we were used to 2 years ago, where you look out on the Paseo and see 5,000 or 10,000 people. It will not be like that. But we are anticipating that we will have anywhere from 50 to 75% of our classes that will be still offered in face-to-face format. I saw another question in the chat asking, well, will we still be able to take classes virtually? We're not going to stop all classes from being virtual. There will be classes that will continue to be offered virtually. And so part of what I would say is that what you really need to do is consult your advisor to really figure out what your schedule is going to look like. But I'd say we're continuing our commitment to students. We have kept essential services open on the campus. We continue throughout the pandemic with our housing program. We anticipate that we will increase the number of students who are living in housing. I think, as everybody knows, we had a pretty extraordinary football season in which I think speaks to, again, our incredible coach, but also our students who, in the middle of all of this, have one of the most extraordinary seasons, if not the most extraordinary season we've ever had at the university. So it's exactly this idea of thinking about how can you move forward and how can we continue to be Spartans even in the midst of this. So we're anticipating that our buildings will be open. Again, we will be socially distanced, but we are still going to be San Jose State. And so we're still going to have 145 different major options. We're still going to be able to, you're still going to have the experiences that Zebeda was talking about. She's been an amazing president through the course of this year, and still been there for other, AS has still been there for other students. So the essentials of who we are not going to change. They are going to be adjusted, but we're looking forward to a fall that's going to move us closer together again, but still being safe and being healthy.
Thank you for that. Who wants to go next?
I can. I mean, to piggyback, I think I talked about some of these things a little bit, Rachel, in my little talk there. But I think the thing that is so unique about our campus is when you walk across it, when we're in normal times, is you feel the energy of that diversity. You feel it. It's unlike any campus I've ever been on, and I am old and I've coached at a lot of universities, and it has a feel to it that's special, and it's the uniqueness of the student population that makes it that. I think we have an incredible faculty. I've seen them go work extra hard during the pandemic to give our students a great learning, the best learning experience they can have, considering what everyone's going through. And in those moments, I've seen real teaching, and I think that's one of the real hallmarks of a great faculty is that when the situation changes and they get more complicated, they still find ways to educate and teach and lift our young, men and women up as they're trying to learn and grow and build their lives academically. And so just when I look at it as everything that we've been through, choosing San Jose State is such an incredible value on top of that. I kind of tried to wrap that all together with my points earlier. But when you consider the cost of coming to school here and having this experience and what you get for that, I don't know that there's a better value in the country. I really don't. And like I said, I've been on lots of college campuses, and I have to recruit against every college campus in America. And so I'm recruiting against the faculty, at Fresno State or San Diego State, or I'm recruiting against the campus there. And so I have to have these conversations quite often. And from what I've seen in our campus in the 4 years that I've been here, it's just incredible that the leadership, the faculty continues to move us forward in the most unique and challenging time. And when you combine that with this vibrant and exciting student population, it's absolutely incredible mix that you're going to want to be a part of as it moves forward.
Thank you for that, Coach. I can definitely relate as a current graduate student to my professors being amazing teachers and being compassionate. So San Jose State definitely has worked wonders for me as a person moving forward with my degree and my career. So Veda?
So when I was a senior in high school, there was two deciding factors for me in choosing San Jose State, and that was affordability and inclusion. Affordability has allowed for my stability and success in my college career, and has allowed me to get involved on campus. There's so many different resources from scholarships that are offered that really pave the way for the success for students. And in regards to inclusion, learning is a two-way street. So identity exploration and academic engagement is something that SJSU made clear to me that they were committed to, and I still see that every day in these past 3 years that I've been on campus. But most importantly, equity in so many sectors of campus life, from in the classroom and outside of the classroom, have been very just pivotal to the student success and inclusion.
Thank you for that, Sofeda. Moving on to our next question here. Well, this one is for our Vice President, Patrick Day. We have received several questions from newly admitted students about how fall 2021 semester will be handled due to the COVID-19 restrictions. Can you talk about how the campus is dealing with these restrictions?
Sure. No, this is, we spend a lot of time talking about this, so I would expect this question. So the first thing I would say is that this has been dynamic. You're watching the news just as we are. You're seeing the things that are coming out from the governor just as we are. So it moves, right? And so an answer that I might have given you a month ago is a little bit different than the answers that I might have right now. And so, we're still a little ways. We've got a little runway between now and the beginning of the fall. And so things are likely to change in ways expected, but then also in ways that are unexpected. So here's what I'll give you some general things that we're anticipating, but I'm going to ask maybe it's Rachel or Drew if they can drop into the chat the Health Advisory's website, just so that people can monitor kind of some of the things that are happening, and they can see what we're doing with regard to how we are sort of managing forward. So again, I mentioned a little bit about our classes, our in-person classes. We will continue to offer a number of courses as well as services virtually. Right now, we're doing a pretty massive assessment of spaces. We're trying to make sure that spaces that perhaps were fairly small and that were tight and in-person spaces, we may not have all of those online, or they may have to move so that we can have appropriate physical distancing and people will be able to sort of navigate the campus in safe ways. We will likely keep some of our services virtually. The interesting thing is we found out that lots of students actually like a number of our services being virtual. We've offered our support service, like all of our counseling services right now, as an example, they're all virtual appointments. And that's allowed really an incredible group of therapists to be able to reach our students. In our student activities area, we have major speakers that will come and talk to students. And in one of our programs, what we found is we had more students virtually, as people are finding out, than we've ever had at a program before. So what we're really sort of navigating and negotiating right now is what's going to be that mix, right? And how are we going to sort of think that through? So I imagine it will be a hybrid experience for lots of students. As we think about living on campus, we are anticipating anywhere from 60 to 70% of our residence hall capacity will be available and full this fall semester. So that's anywhere from 2,500 to 2,900 students. And again, all of these are based on where we are right now. Things can change. We can get we can be issued new guidelines and things like that. But that's what we're anticipating on campus. We are preparing right now for multiple scenarios. We're preparing to be in the orange tier. We're preparing to be in the yellow tier. We're preparing to, if we have to move forward, we have to move back. I'm literally looking at spreadsheets with the administration, and we're figuring out how do we move with regard to things happening on the campus. We will not, again, probably look like we looked in, fall of 19, but we think that we will begin to start heading back in that direction. As you start to think about live events, Coach talked about attending events. These are all the things that we're planning for, because what we want is for our students to be able to be connected. This was a hard year because so many things we didn't know about. We think we have more ways for students to be connected, whether they be virtually or whether they're living on campus. And so we're creating and crafting ways for students to, particularly new students, to be able to move through the experience, but to have a group of people that they're moving through the experience with. So that when students come to campus in the fall, or excuse me, in the summer, and they're engaging in our orientation experience, we want to get them connected very early so they can continue to move with a cohort or a house group of students. Yes, a la Harry Potter and so forth. But we really want them to be able to move through and have those connections, recognizing that people are going to have very different lives and different kinds of experiences. So like many folks, many schools, we are moving back towards a sense of normalcy, but we're also mindful that moving back is not doing exactly what we did before. It's about learning from the last year and figuring out, are there some things that actually worked better virtually? And how do we think about a new future? But also recognizing that as Zubeda talked about, as Coach talked about, we truly know that being together, being present with one another is irreplaceable. But there may be opportunities for us to think differently about all of the spaces and places, and are there ways that we can do things virtually that keep our students safe as they have been. We have very low rates of infection. In fact, none happening on campus right now. But how do we do that, keep our students, our staff, our faculty, and all of our visitors safe? So a lot of things will be coming out. Things will likely be changing. I saw some questions about vaccination. So let me go ahead and speak to that. We are not at this point anticipating, keep in mind that, vaccines are not readily available. You can't just sort of go down anywhere and get them. And so you've got an emergency protocol, emergency use authorization right now that's affecting vaccination access. And so for us to just say everybody has to be vaccinated is not really something that we can realistically do. Now, it is possible, and we are certainly considering whether or not we will require vaccination for some parts of our campus. As an example, our student athletes have been going through a level of testing that's beyond anything that anyone else has done. So maybe we may consider whether or not we want to say to our student athletes, this is something that needs to happen, or if we'll say that to people who choose to live on campus versus saying it for everybody. These are things and discussions that we're trying to figure out. And let me be very honest with people, they're not decisions that we can just make all on our own. And so we are monitoring and spending a lot of time watching what the County of Santa Clara is, and working with the County of Santa Clara where we live. And for those of you who aren't in the area or in the area in another county, you certainly know that all counties don't behave the same way. And so one of the things that as you're watching what's happening in San Jose State, I would encourage you to really look at the Santa Clara County website. We also look at the American College Health Association and those recommendations. We look at the CDC. We're certainly looking at what's coming out from the governor's office. So these are all the things that are really guiding us. So we don't just make independent decisions, though we will make decisions that are compliant with what the county is saying, but also are mindful of what is in the best interest and allows us to create the safest campus possible. I could go on and on and on, as you might imagine, Rachel, but I will stop there. But I want to make sure that we try and get to some of the questions that people have. I know there'll be a lot of them.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for that, Patrick. And I really enjoyed how you mentioned San Jose State is doing its best to have our students stay connected, no matter if we're in person or if we're virtual. So speaking of connections, we're making some connections right now with our future Spartans. Some of y'all are asking, I love what I'm seeing. Where can I find the recordings for this event or other events if I can't make it? They will be posted on our ASD website 2 to 3 days after. And if you want to watch this live stream right away, it's going to be available on YouTube. And we posted that link in the chat. But thank you so much for that, Patrick. Moving on, we do have a question for our Associated Students President, Zubeda. So what about campus life, right? Because you're right in the thick of it, Zubeda. How can students be engaged during this time?
I would say that one of the first things is being intentional about your time, because time here goes by so quickly. Building community is also key to staying engaged. There's no doubt that individuality is accepted and respected throughout this campus, and there's over 400 student organizations on this campus. So no matter your interest, chances are there's a place for you. And if there isn't, you have the power to create new orgs and bring this new sense of transformative change to our campus. And then in this era of social media, use that to your advantage. We have apps like the Sammy app and different social media platforms for different organizations and resources that help students remain engaged throughout their journey here. But I think in terms of, having the best experience, it's always remaining your authentic self and knowing that San Jose State, welcomes all students from all different backgrounds, and that's what makes us so transformative and so diverse.
Thank you, Zobeda. Speaking of transformative, we are going back to our Coach of the Year. So Coach, I have this question for you. Why are you so proud to be a Spartan? Can you tell us what has motivated you the most during this really successful year for you and the team that brings honor to our campus?
I think as we've gone through the process with this football program and the young men that are involved with us, on a day-to-day basis, just seeing their hard work. Obviously, you go back a couple of years, we were not successful on the field, and we were still kind of building it and still kind of improving, which I think is a really great kind of story to tell or metaphor for the people that we're talking to now, right? Like your freshman year, there's those rough moments and you're trying to figure it out and you don't know where your classes are and you're late or you get a bad grade or whatever that is. That's kind of what we were going through. And it took a couple of years to build it and to get it to a place where we were ready to kind of, climb the mountain is what we said and win the conference championship. But, I think for us, the thing that was so special was because we weren't able to be together and because we couldn't have fans, because the students couldn't come to the games, was the outreach to our players and our program through social media, from the city of San Jose, from our students, from our faculty. There were times where after a game, I'd have 1,200 text messages just from people reaching out, let alone our hits, our impressions in social media were, multiple millions. And that's what was neat, was to see how the campus embraced the football program having success this year, even though it was such a tricky year with COVID and, being off campus and kind of working through the challenging time. I just loved how campus still found ways to be excited about what was happening and then vice versa, how our program was still able to kind of highlight some of the special things and continue to talk about the special things happening at San Jose State because we were having success on the field. That gave us a chance to continue having the conversations to talk about, everything that's happening there and how, I really feel like we're entering this incredible window of just explosion for the university in terms of how it's viewed, how it's respected, and the value of graduating from there, what that's going to mean for our graduates down the road.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Coach. I'm getting super amped up hearing everybody's awesome answers. We're going to move on to our next question. This one is going to be for our Vice President and Associated Students President. Recently, I'm very proud of this ranking. SJSU received the #1 ranking for most transformative university in the country. So what does this ranking mean to you and your role at SJSU?
Yeah, so this ranking is very special to me. As a San Jose native, I believe this ranking really reflects the cultural diversity, legacy, and enriching experience of San Jose State, but also the city. The Spartan experience is one that's not only transformative in the classroom, but it's also transformative outside, and it reflects the core values of this university, which is student engagement, student success, and stability, which I've been very fortunate enough to see throughout my college experience.
Well, I will say, Rachel, this is it's incredibly exciting for us, but at the same time, for those of us who have been here, there's a part of the reaction that is, well, yeah, that's what we do, and so there's a part of it that's not actually surprising, but more really happy that it's being recognized. It means that for students who come to San Jose State, they move farther than students at any other institution in terms of their academic success, in terms of their financial success and career success after graduation. I mean, we just couldn't be prouder. This is fundamentally who we want to be. And I think that's what is exciting about it. There are lots of awards and recognitions that you can get, and that's certainly a nice thing. But when you are rewarded for being who you are, there's nothing better than that. And so I think for us, Rachel, this is so exciting. And because when I look at students like Zubeda and so many of our students, when I walk across campus, I say, yeah, this is what we do at San Jose State. And it's happening in so many places. It's happening. I mean, you know, our football team is such an incredible story for certainly fans of football, but also for anybody who is a fan of our students and for a fan of the accomplishments of our institution. And it represents what has been happening, as Coach mentioned, in our esports programs. It represents the success of our students academically, moving on to graduate school. It represents the commitment of our students in the middle of COVID to their theatrical productions and accomplishments. It represents the success of our many students who are focused in music and the arts. It represents so much of the achievements, some loud, some not as loud, but it represents who we are, a group of incredible students, incredible faculty and staff coming together to change the world. It's quite real, it's quite powerful, and the legacy is over 100 years old. We are the first institution, the oldest institution in the California State University system, and so our legacy of deep accomplishment and community engagement, as Zubeda talked about, it can't be matched. It has gone on for so long and continues to this very day, and we're just excited about it. I mean, you talk about it, Rachel, you just get lathered up, just talk, because you realize as you talk about all the things that it represents, but fundamentally it's about our students and the people who are committed to them and what they have been able to consistently achieve over 160 plus years.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. And I can just echo the fact when you are rewarded for something that you are already, that's awesome. And I'm really excited for our future Spartans to come in and be extra resilient, because if you can get through this, you can get through absolutely anything. Leading on to my next question, which is our leadership panel is a panel of champions. So what is your philosophy in creating wins in your own life that our future Spartans can kind of leech onto and take that with them once they start their journey here? Whoever wants to take that first.
Jump in here. Okay. So we talk about this a lot with our team, and I think it's been instrumental, for me in my process. I'm 48 years old now, been coaching football for 25 years, but really to me, I'm an educator. I teach. I don't teach history or math or engineering, but I teach life, and I think there's a lot of really important lessons that we're teaching through our process of the game that I love. But for me, it is if I could have learned this when I was a younger man, this would have helped me so much. It's what you do every day that is how you get where you want to go, and it's those consistent steps every single day of chasing a dream and believing that you can. I think lots of times people take those steps, but they don't believe that they can, or they don't have a clear vision where they're going. That's been a very good thing for me, is to, when I got here, I said, as a football program, I want us to win a conference championship. I want us to go to a bowl game. That was the goal. And 4 years later, we were able to get there through a lot of hard work and a lot of incredible support from a lot of people, but clearly defining where we were going, and then taking those steps every day in the direction we wanted to go. And when we get off track, like everybody does, having enough support structure and people that love you and care about you, maybe that's a friend, maybe that's a teacher, maybe that's a coach, maybe that's a mentor, maybe it's an RA, to help you get back on track and help you keep taking those steps in the direction you want, where you want to go. And I think that sounds really simple, but I think people have trouble doing it every day. And what you find is over time, maybe those things, the success or the path to success is hard to see. And then all of a sudden it's there and it hits hard and it's big and it's special and it's magical. And it's this incredible moment where you look back and you're like, wow, that was, us winning a conference championship for San Jose State. That was 30 years in the making, 29 years. So, there was a lot of work put into that, but now the new challenge for us is, can we do it again? And can we get to the conference championship again? And so that's a new kind of pressure. But again, we are going to apply the same formula. And that is, we talk in football about climbing the mountain because we play in the Mountain West Conference. And, when I first got here, we were kind of at the bottom of the mountain and it was Mount Everest. But the only way you climb that mountain is by taking those steps every day. You just do it one step at a time. You don't jump from the bottom to the top. For any of you hip hop fans out there, we started from the bottom, now we're here. But that's how you get there, is taking those steps every day, one step at a time. That's how you get to the top of the mountain. And that's been critical for us. It's been critical for me to remind myself. Even the players remind me sometimes, no, coach, we're good. We're climbing the mountain. So that's what I would say to you as you're starting your college journey. The things that you do day in and day out, that discipline and consistency of the effort will get you where you want to go. And whatever dream you have, make it big, define it, and chase it every day. You'll get there.
Awesome. Woohoo. Started from the bottom, but now we're all Spartans. I love it. Who wants to go next?
I can go. As a first-generation college student, I think of the quote by James Baldwin that says, "The place in which I'll fit will not exist until I make it." And I carry that very close, and especially throughout my college career. It reminds me that at times I have to be my own form of representation and not let things pass me by, which takes vision, dedication, and strategy. But I also think of other quotes that say that great leaders create more great leaders, and great leaders inspire the future generations of new trailblazers. So I have to thank the leaders of SJSU who have paved the way for students like myself.
Now, Rachel, I know you don't want me to talk after the AS president quotes James Baldwin. Like, I don't know. I don't have anything else to add that will be anywhere near what Zabeda just dropped. So I will add my little something. What I will just simply say that to students, and some of my current students have heard me say this before. As an institution, we've been here before. And that doesn't make it easy now, but this is not our first pandemic to navigate through. And I say that not to diminish the challenge that we've been facing, but I say it to suggest that we will get through this, and we have gotten through this before, and that individuals who sat in the seats that you're sitting in right now with less communication, less information, less resources, were able to get through this and continue the legacy that we all have the opportunity to walk in today. So those students who were here in 1918, who committed themselves, just as our students now, to whether it's nursing students committing themselves to working as they navigated that time in the city of San Jose, and helping people be able to get through a pandemic where you couldn't just get an update on the news every night on television, to the students who we have on campus who are doing that right now. I raise that to answer the question by saying that life is not a straight line. And it is not always predictable, and there'll be things that happen. And the people who are successful are the people who are able to recognize that and be able to continue to move through it. But let me be clear, not perfectly, not without having a moment, not without having places where you say, I can't believe this is going on, but rather who are able to do that, then get up the next morning and continue to push forward. They will ask for help. They will say, geez, let me talk to somebody because I need to figure out how to navigate this. But those are the people who are ultimately the most successful, the people who recognize that there are going to be mistakes. There will even be failures. And that the goal of this life is to recognize that failure provides you an opportunity to learn, not to sit in the, oh, I wish I would have done that differently in life and the world. but rather to say, oh, okay, that didn't go so well. So what can I do the next time that will make it go well? And the people who begin to figure that out and don't make that about the defining moment of their life, those are the people who are most successful, not the people who don't fail, not the people who don't have challenges, not the people who don't have to take a detour, but the people who do that and are able to navigate forward being stronger than they were before it happened.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Vice President Patrick Day. We will now go ahead and open up the floor for additional questions that y'all might have in the Q&A feature. I do have a question here that is asking for our future Spartans, when will we be able to visit campus? We really want to check it out. What's that looking like right now?
Right, so I'll answer and say, you know, our campus is pretty empty, but we don't have a wall up. So people do walk through campus and are able to still see the way our beautiful downtown campus looks. We're still keeping our sort of official visits virtual. And so we're not exactly sure when that's going to be able to happen. And so part of it is really navigating some of the local rules around gatherings and events and what we are and are not able to do. I will tell you, as soon as we are able to have more official engagements with students and families, we certainly want to do that. And again, I'll ask maybe Rachel and Drew and Deanna if we can make sure that through this experience and even for people who have individual questions, we can connect them to virtual resources so that they're able to see our campus. But we haven't closed the gates at campus. People still walk through and are able to see the campus, but we're not able to have the official large group gatherings that we oftentimes would have to be able to, on a day like today, on a Saturday, to be able to have a visitation type of program. But please reach out to us because we want you to see it. It's a beautiful, incredible place, even as you're seeing in some of the pictures that are on the screen.
And I guess a follow-up question that I'm seeing here is, what is your favorite spot on campus or building on campus?
I'll let Z answer that. Her opinion matters more than ours, Brent.
Ooh, that's a tough one. But I think the first place that comes to mind is the Tommy Smith and John Carlos statues. I think they just represent so much diversity and social justice activism to our campus. And, they're phenomenal leaders. And I mentioned, it's home to Olympic winners on our campus. So I've gone there just to reflect. There's a lawn where the Tommy Smith and John Carlos statues are. I've gone there to do homework, to unwind. So it's a place that brings a lot of serenity and, peacefulness to me. But I think it also just really reflects some of the great values at our campus and opportunities that San Jose State has to showcase. So that's my favorite spot on campus.
Thank you so much for that, Zobeda. All right, and to wrap up our live Q&A, apologies if we did not get to your questions. We have a wonderful 2 weeks of programming where you can go specifically to housing or financial aid and get your questions answered. I'm going to ask my panelists to end up really quick with last words of advice for our future Spartans and their families. All right, Coach.
Yeah, sorry. First of all, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for including me in this really awesome program. Like everyone has mentioned, normally this is just a wonderful day on campus with thousands of people and all kinds of information and getting to walk the campus and get a feel for what it feels like. I absolutely believe in what's happening here at San Jose State University. I know I've said that repeatedly on this conversation today. I just feel like this moment in time for our institution is unlike any other in its history. And if you come here, the #1 most transformative university in America is going to help you build the life you want to build, whatever that is. It will be the foundation with which you build your incredible life going forward. And I'm just looking forward to getting to share that experience with you and seeing you on campus and continuing to build, this program and keep climbing this mountain with the rest of our student population. So thanks again, and appreciate everyone being here.
Thank you, Coach.
I will jump in because I want our AS president to have the last word. I will say, first of all, welcome and congratulations. It is not lost on us that this didn't just happen, that you got to this point. And we are really looking forward to having you become a part of the Spartan legacy. This is an extraordinary place, and Coach has said a number of times, in an extraordinary moment. Things are happening in some of the most incredible ways that they've ever happened at this institution. And so we're glad that you're choosing to be a part of it. What I'll say as we go through this, ask questions, communicate, engage. Things will be dynamic. So things will be changing. Things will move backward and forward and side to side. Don't let that deter you. Our students who have stayed the course have done really well. And we want you to be a part of that incredible population of students. We're glad that you're with us. We appreciate your presence today. And we hope that you will continue to engage with us, and we will continue to engage with you between now and the fall. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Vice President Day. And last but not least, we have our wonderful Zobeida to close us off.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you for everyone and your commitment and dedication so far. A campus that paves the way for innovation and transformative change speaks volumes. And I can assure you that despite all the unprecedented change, you won't be alone on this campus. The future will be owned by future leaders who are innovative, creative, and have that resilience to push forward any different curveballs that they are faced with. So just thank you for your time and dedication today.
Thank you so much, panel, and our future Spartans. Feel free to give them some virtual claps. I wanted to go ahead and quickly adjust some things you're seeing in the chat. We have our wonderful schedule up there. We have a site, sjsu.edu/Admitted Spartan Days, where you can see all of our sessions. If you have any additional questions we didn't get to, we do have our email, admittedspartan@sjsu.edu, that you can definitely reach out to. I wanted to go ahead and wrap up. Before we let you all go, I want to remind you about some amazing upcoming events that will be happening for the rest of this week, for week 1 of ASD. For those of you interested, we have events such as Life as a Spartan, Intercollegiate Athletics Info Session, which is tomorrow, financial aid and scholarships, starting your Spartan journey at summer orientation, and so much more. Many of you will be attending your academic college open houses starting shortly at 11:30 a.m. If you liked Coach's speech, make sure to check out our athletics info session tomorrow at 4 p.m. If you want to be active like our AS President Zobeida, we do have ways for you to get involved tomorrow at 1 p.m. So check out that website. For today, my last little plug is we have a live virtual tour, 2:30 p.m. today. You can go ahead and register. And I just wanted to quickly point out, we do have this social media campaign going on. If you want to follow our social media accounts on Instagram, if you use the hashtag SJSUbound21 and tag @Future Spartans and SJSU, we will do our best to feature you. Here are some of our future Spartans we are so proud of. And to close out this celebration, we'll go ahead and end with a performance of our traditional fight song from the School of Music and Dance. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We hope to see you in the fall.